even worse than that. You talked about the German delegation that came in Canada a few days ago. They even came here in Quebec. Now you're right to say they're going to have to switch over the winter from natural gas to coal, which is much worse. It's 60% more emissions and everything. Like if Canada was exporting our LNG project gas, we would reduce emissions. So we would do much better for the environment, and on top of creating very good jobs in our regions here in Canada. But it's worse than that. We're probably going to have to export coal, because they're also going to run out of coal. So that's going to be okay according to Mr. Trudeau's standards and the left standards and the environmentalist standards. The net, it's all to look good, but when you look at the data, when you look at the results, it's terrible what they're proposing. It's even worse than what they're fighting against.
Well, let's go on that looking good side. So one of the things I found out, this was also true of the Conservative Party in Ontario. And I'm, relatively positively predisposed to the Conservatives in Ontario, especially given the nature of the alternative. During COVID, and I know this because I was told this by senior members of the Ontario government, as well as discussing recently with journalist Ruba Subramania and a group of people who are suing the Canadian government. The court documents have revealed, for example, that the travel ban that Trudeau implemented had, hypothetically to stop the spread of COVID, had so little scientific justification, despite being touted as scientifically justifiable, that even though the Trudeau cabinet gave direct orders to the people working in their health departments to formulate a scientific rationale to justify the ban, the people so ordered couldn't, even though some of them were willing to attempt to do so. So it lacked such scientific justification that even under duress, the people tasked with generating the rationale post hoc couldn't do it. And that the reason the bloody travel ban was implemented to begin with, which deprived about 7 million people of the right to visit their dying relatives in hospitals, for example, the actual rationale was that the Liberal minority government, federally headed by Trudeau, wanted to launch a precipitous election to put themselves in a majority position and was looking for a wedge issue to divide Canadians so that they could ramp up their grip on power.